configuration, sprint web, and a super thin and super soft sprint skin microfiber upper. There was also a slightly heavier version of these available that you would have seen worn by Lionel Messi. Those purple ones were iconic in the Tech Indigo colorway. Now, there were 3 launch colorways which were headlines by the likes of Messi, Villa, Arjen Robben, and Jermaine Defoe at that tournament. But in 2011, Adidas launched the Prime. So this version was 20 grams lighter than that standard adiZero, weighing 145 grams. It raised the game in terms of standard lightweight speed boots. Now the Prime had this super thin and lightweight synthetic upper, dubbed the Adi Twin Light, with lightweight Kevlar laces, sprint frame outsole. They all had 7 different colorways of those, including the anodized purple ones, the warning black, and electricity editions. But by 2011, we've got the new F50 adiZero, which was the first time we would seen that My Coach technology, which captures the 360-degree movements, calculates your speed, your number of sprints, the distance covered, and much more. Now this adiZero weighed 148 grams, which again was the lightest boot on the market. It had a super lightweight sprint skin upper and the sprint frame outsole, 13 different colorways of those, including those McDonald's ones, the blue-red ones for Euro 2012. But by 2012, we also had the F50 adiZero 3 launched. It was the My Coach 2, and this generation again was headlined by Messi, weighed 165 grams. It had the similar technologies with the original My Coach cell in there, using sprint skin, sprint frame, and sprint web, but it had a completely redesigned with that extra texture applied to the upper. Messi was known for wearing his yellow leather ones. There were some electricity, infrared, and white editions. November 2013, and Adidas launched their 2014 F50 adiZero, which was to be worn by players at the 2014 World Cup. Weighing just 150 grams, they launched 2 F50s, including the Solar Blue and the Solar Zest Samba editions. The boot technology was revamped from the previous generations. It had a new hybrid touch upper and speed foil with a dribble text upper layer on there as well, and they had a new stock configuration called Speed Traction. 2015, and we are now talking about the There Will Be Haters campaign. They used this to launch the new F50. In fact, it was the last F50 we were going to see. It had a new one-piece hybrid touch upper, the 360 degrees dribble text on it with a track spike inspired sole plate, and a whole bunch of players, Suarez, Bale, James Rodriguez, Diego Costa, Karim Benzema were known for wearing these, but it would turn out to be the last F50s we'd see. There were the red ones, there were some green ones, there's some black ones, but that was going to be the end of it. They were going to kill off those. But before we said goodbye to the F50, there was the adiZero 99 grams. So those were the lightest adiZeros that had ever been made. They were only available in one size, but in that one size, they came in under 100 grams. I think it was 8.5 UK was the size. It was the only size you could buy them in, but those are the ones that came in that ultra lightweight model. In May 2015, Adidas replaced the F50s with the X15. For the Champions League final, we saw the brand new X. It was designed to provide chaos. Thomas Müller, Gareth Bale, Luis Suarez, Karim Benzema, Alvaro Morata, headline players. It had this tech fit material, had that low collar, had that X cage around the outside to prevent your foot slipping while attempting to make those quick cuts and turn. It had moved away from the hybrid touch to use this new X skin upper. Then they moved on and they made the X15 Plus Prime Knit. So Adidas had been using Prime Knit on a lot of their shoes. They brought it to the X15. It looked very similar to the original launch version, but it had that Prime Knit after. The tongue was a slight change. It's a little bit more prominent, a little bit more lifted up. And you could also see the Prime Knit in that upper a little bit. A really bold, bright, vibrant color used on these really stood out. And then following that up, they came on in 2016, they made the X15 Plus SL, and you could see on the sides there's that translucent area. These were much more lightweight than the other ones. They really popped. If you had socks on, you could see the color of the socks coming through that gap. It was a very lightweight version of the X15. It was actually quite popular with quite a few players who really enjoyed wearing these, and they wore them later on into the life of the X. But in 2016, the Pure Chaos came out, and it was the first time we saw a lace cover added to the X line. So there are laces on these. They're hidden under that cover on them. It does have that NSG upper as well. It started to see the chrome on the sole plates, which really stood out. And it has what was called the Pure Cut sock system. So those laces go underneath that to give you that clean, striking area. It has the sprint frame outsole. By 2017, we've moved on to the X17 Plus Pure Speed. And this time around, The lace cover was a little bit higher. It kind of hid the laces even more, but they're only subtle changes. It has this kind of dot upper to the Pure Speeds. That was only one of the minor things you could see. Also came in the 0.1 version. This was really popular with a lot of players actually for a long time. Real standout boot. The 17.1s with the laces on, really big and bold. But talking about big and bold, come 2018, Adidas pulled the laces out of the X model completely, and it means the Plus version was completely laceless. You could also get the 0.1s that had laces. Salah was known for wearing those. These came out in time for the 2018 World Cup. The likes of Gabriel Jesus, Luis Suarez and Mo Salah representing these, and you could really tell the difference between the laceless and the laces because one had that big black area on it where the laces were. 2019, and we saw another update to the X line with the 302 redirect pack. Again, a laceless top end model. So skeletal weave was the upper on the previous one, and for this model they moved on and used the X-Lace skin instead. So that upper replaced the previous one. It was even more softer, more pliable and lighter. Now talking about lighter, Adidas dropped a special edition X 99.1. Now these weren't actually 99 grams, but they were definitely inspired by those 99 boots that we saw previously in the video, and they've got some definite F50 vibes about them, even though they were on the X sole. And gave us some clues to some of the things that we were going to see from Adidas in their speed line coming up in the future. They were a pretty popular release. Another boot that came out in 2019 was the F50 Plus Tunit remake, and these weren't as popular. They looked a bit clunky. They were a bit clunky to wear. I'm not sure too many players actually wore them. Something that a lot of players wore were the X19s in the Uniforia pack. They were massive. A lot of players really repping those. That should have been the Euros boots, but obviously that got delayed a year. Now, the X20 Ghosted, these came out in 2020. In fact, we lost the 20 moniker in the name. The in-flight pack were the launch ones. These had that Carbotrex carbon fiber plate. These also had that same plate on them as well, but this is when Adidas made the remakes of all these F50s that we've seen in the past. They went with lots of different stores and did different versions, all on that same sole plate, but the uppers were mixed around and changed, and they were pretty good to look at, really. Hudson Odie looking at these, what a combination, taking the X and the F50 and merging them into these remakes. Really hugely popular. Some of them even got remade again. Then we're looking at the X Ghosted showpiece. These were worn in 2024 Champions League finals and things like that. And now X have moved on to their Speedflow. So we've got the 0.1 Speedflows that Messi launched, and then we also have the X21s, but they don't have that in the name anymore. They're just purely the X Plus Speedflows, and that is the latest boot from Adidas on the market.